I find your lack of Goldblum disturbing. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the reboot to Jurassic World, bringing back Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard as a couple of dinosaur lovers in different ways. And what they're going to do now that it appears as if Isla Nublar is going to be in danger from a volcano. Will everyone survive? Will the humans? Will the dinosaurs? Do we care? Well, here's 5 things you might want to know about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. No, unfortunately, I didn't care as much as I wanted to about this movie, and there are reasons for that, which we will get into. But let's start with the good stuff, because this isn't an awful movie. There's some good stuff to like. I love the visuals in this movie. I love the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are just flat out cool to see on screen. And it's great that we're still putting big budget dollars behind making dinosaur movies, because I want to keep doing that. I love seeing these dinosaurs. Specifically, the new dinosaur, the Indoraptor, I think it's called, is the scariest dinosaur I've ever seen in a Jurassic Park / Jurassic World movie. It's really well designed. And overall, in fact, the visuals in this movie are really cool. There are some of those striking dino visuals that you're just not going to get anywhere else. And because of that, I still found myself, even as disconnected as I was from this movie, enjoying some of the visual treats it had to offer. The other thing I love is that these visuals aren't just cool, they're clever too. They're really smart. A lot of the ways the tension is framed in some of these scenes is really well done. A lot of the ways the characters and the dinosaurs interact is stuff we haven't seen before, an interesting take on how that might go. You can really tell J.A. Bayona, I think is his name, the director, knows what he's doing. He is putting these visuals on screen in an interesting way. You can tell he's very confident with how he is portraying these things. So I really did enjoy not just how cool the visuals are, but also how they meant something and how they were designed to bring us into those tension-filled moments, which, let's be honest, that's kind of what the Jurassic series is about. Which is why it's so unfortunate this movie does not work overall. The story's just bad. I think a lot of that comes down to the writing. There's not a lot smart going on with the way this movie is progressing itself and the way the characters are dialoguing with each other. You know, I feel like in Jurassic World, which I liked more than most people, by the way, you had a lot more of that Chris Pratt humor. There's not a lot of smile moments here. The characters just kind of seem to exist in the plot rather than drive the plot, if that makes sense. And I think that comes down to a poor script. I don't think this is a great script, and the movie suffers because of it. One thing that I would have loved to see, and I get to just throw it in because I don't have to deal with how you would do it, but I could not believe you bring Jeff Goldblum back for nothing more than a very small, unimportant, completely unrelated cameo to what's really going on in this movie. If you make him a part of this in some way, involve him in some way, I think the movie changes. But again, I just get to throw that in. I don't have to deal with the consequences of figuring out how that works. But I did feel like to have a taste of Goldblum without enough Goldblum was almost punishment in this movie. But I don't know how you save the script. It's really poor overall. The other problem is it's not just poorly written, it's also lazy screenwriting. There are so many plot holes in this movie, so much plot convenience where stuff just happens because it has to happen for the movie, stuff that doesn't make any sense. Now, in general, I can give a movie quite a bit of grace, actually, if I'm enjoying myself, for plot convenience, for some plot holes. Like, I know you've got 2 hours to tell a story, you're going to have a little convenience happen. But what gets me is nonsense. When a movie moves into the nonsense category where it's like, oh, come on, then I just lose it. And unfortunately, this movie goes into the nonsense category far too often for me to stay invested. And because of that, everything suffers because it just feels lazy and drawn out. The final thing that was a negative for me, and I'm actually just going to give it a yellow because I don't know that it'll bother everybody. I think they've messed up the dinosaurs in the Jurassic series. I feel like they've gone a direction that is not why I fell in love with the movies. They've taken these creatures who really were there to be both incredibly awe-inspiring and beautiful and also incredibly dangerous. That's the beauty of these creatures, right? And they've turned that beauty and awe-inspiring into a sermon in many ways. And they've turned the danger almost into a joke. And that really bothers me because you get the feeling with the first Jurassic Park, even some of the sequels, and even I think the first Jurassic World, that these creatures are animals who we are in awe of and also scared of. In this movie, it just feels like they're turning them into something that makes them a lot more basic than that, and I don't deal with that well. Overall, though, there is enough to love about the visuals in this movie and some of the stuff that it's doing that it's not a complete loss. Still, there's plenty of bad writing here, eye-rolling moments enough for me to go down to a C, right in the middle. That's my review. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Would love to know what you thought. Feel free to hit me up in the comments. And before we get to the best ever challenge here in this video, a couple other ways to connect besides leaving comments. You can hit me up on Twitter. It's my preferred mode of communication in the movie realm. My name is Aaron Dicer. That is also my Twitter handle, AARONDICER. Give a follow there, and I'd love to chat with you. Also, hit up the podcast. If you do the podcast thing, just go in your podcast player and search for SiftPop, SIFTPOP. We have a blast talking about the new movies each week, as well as some other fun things where we pick the best ever movies, kind of like we do here in certain categories. We have a good time. So if you want to join us, you do the podcast thing, love to see you there. And thank you for supporting this YouTube channel. I could not do it without you. New supporters keep coming in, and to you, I say thanks. It means the world to me that you would actually give $3 every month to help support something like this, because the reviews mean something to you. Maybe if it saves you one movie ticket over the course of the year, you know, you're pretty much, or I should say over the course of the month, 3 months. $3, 3 months, about $9. Yeah, about every 3 months. If I save you a movie about every 3 months, it's worth it. So check it out at yourmoviefriend.com and patreon.com/yourmoviefriend. That's patreon.com/yourmoviefriend. All right, on to the best ever challenge, where we name the best movie ever in a particular category. I'd also like you to identify your choice. I'll give you a clue for mine. The category this episode week is best ever James Cromwell movies. Since he's in Fallen Kingdom, we didn't talk a lot about him, but he's got a nice library. What's the best ever Cromwell film? I'm going to have to go with the one where my favorite character could also be the name of a sequel to a Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron lifeguard movie. Or maybe just the name for the latest Transformers movie. Take a guess at mine in the comments. That is a long way to get to a clue. First person to get it right does get a point. I'd love to see your choice there as well. And as always, I'm going to give you a few extra seconds if you'd like to hit subscribe. Just click my face.